They anchored a floating dock on my riverfront, so I took their boats and their permit. My riverfront property sits along the Greenwater Bend, a calm stretch of current bordered by cottonwoods and flat shale banks. I've owned that land for 11 years, part retreat, part wildlife habitat, part inheritance from my late father. What made it priceless wasn't money or bragging rights, it was the access. No easements, no shared rights, just me and the current. Which is why the first thing I noticed that Saturday morning wasn't the noise, it was the color. A bright blue platform floating where my natural shoreline used to be. I walked closer, confused. Then the noise hit. Metal clanking, boots stomping, ropes tightening. Two men stood on a floating dock the size of a living room, anchoring it into my riverbed with steel spikes. One of them jammed a mallet into the last bolt. The other barked orders. I cleared my throat. Want to explain why there's a dock on my shoreline? The older one didn't even turn fully toward me. This area is public access now. Approved last month. I'm setting up a private paddle club. Good for tourism. Public access? I frowned. This is deeded riverfront. No public easement. He waved me off like a mosquito. Take it up with the city. I've already got the permit. Permit? For my land? I walked back to my cabin and pulled the paperwork from my safe. My deed clearly marked the boundary line extending 15 feet into the water. A legally recognized private riparian right, meaning no docks, no anchoring, no vessels stored, no paddle club, unless I approved it, which I never had. I didn't call the sheriff right away, not this time. Instead, I called someone I'd learned about during a land management seminar, a riparian compliance officer, the kind who handles illegal docks, illegal anchoring, and riverbed violations. A niche expert most violators don't even know exists. He arrived the next morning. He studied the dock from different angles, checking water flow, anchor depth, and placement. After 20 minutes, he said quietly, "They built across a private boundary, and they drove anchor spikes into a protected riverbed. That's 2 violations, both serious." We walked back to the cabin. "Do you want this handled the normal way?" he asked. "Or the immediate way?" I looked at the dock, at the boats tied to it, at the men laughing like they owned the place. "Immediate," I said. That one word triggered everything. The riparian officer contacted a riverbed impact auditor, a waterway permit analyst, a state biologist. They documented every inch. Turns out, their permit was fake, not forged, but misrepresented, applied for with a falsified map. The club owner, Grant Havel, had claimed the shoreline was abandoned access zone. The anchors had pierced a protected spawning zone for smallmouth bass during active season. And worst of all, their club website had already sold 41 memberships for a riverfront they didn't own. The state didn't call a judge in a courtroom. This time, the judge came to the riverfront. Judge Rowan Hale walked along the bank, taking in every violation firsthand. When she finished, she faced Grant. "This isn't a misunderstanding," she said. "This is exploitation disguised as tourism." Her ruling wasn't read off a paper. She delivered it like a sentence carved into stone. The floating dock seized by the state. All boats and gear confiscated pending auction. Permit application voided and flagged for fraud. Grant banned from filing any waterway project for 5 years. A $185,000 environmental fine. Mandatory riverbed restoration under state supervision. Grant didn't argue. He couldn't. Tonight, the river is quiet again. Undisturbed. Mine. What would you do if someone anchored a dock on your land? Tell me in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories.